The Life of Marcus Aurelius, a Philosopher King's Legacy. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. These words of wisdom, penned by Marcus Aurelius, echo across centuries. His life brings together philosophy and power in a way few historical figures ever have. But who was Marcus Aurelius? Was he merely a Roman emperor, or was he something more profound, a philosopher who sought virtue and justice even in the face of chaos? Today, we explore the life and legacy of a man remembered as the Philosopher King, a leader whose timeless teachings continue to inspire us to live with resilience, compassion, and reason. Marcus was born in 121 CE into a wealthy and politically connected Roman family. From the start, his life seemed destined for greatness, but it was his character and his relentless quest for knowledge that set him apart. Unlike many elite Romans of his time, Marcus was drawn not to power or luxury, but to philosophy and self-improvement. From a young age, Marcus demonstrated extraordinary intellectual curiosity. His formal education introduced him to the likes of Homer and Virgil, but it was his engagement with philosophy that became the cornerstone of his life. Stoicism, in particular, captivated him. This school of thought emphasized self-control, rationality, and the acceptance of life's hardships with dignity, a philosophy that would guide him through the immense challenges he was yet to face. His teachers, including the revered Sextus of Chaeronea and other philosophers, cultivated in him the virtues of humility, patience, and moral discipline. These early influences steered Marcus away from a life of indulgence and toward a path of thoughtful reflection and service to others. Little did he know that these lessons would prepare him for the trials of leadership and the burden of empire. Fate, however, had grand plans for Marcus Aurelius. His path to the throne unfolded when Emperor Hadrian adopted a promising young senator, Antoninus Pius, as his heir, with the condition that Antoninus would, in turn, adopt Marcus and another young nobleman, Lucius Verus. This unconventional arrangement placed two teenage boys in line for the most powerful position in the known world. Under the watchful guidance of Antoninus Pius, Marcus prepared tirelessly for his future role. He received an unparalleled education in governance, military command, and Roman law, all the while remaining deeply rooted in his philosophical practices. In 161 CE, Antoninus Pius passed away, and Marcus ascended to the throne alongside Lucius Verus, marking the beginning of a co-rule that was rare in Roman history. Despite this shared power dynamic, it was Marcus's vision, backed by his Stoic philosophy, that ultimately shaped the empire during a time of immense upheaval. As emperor, Marcus Aurelius faced trials that would test the limits of human endurance. The Roman Empire was besieged by relentless crises during his reign. Wars with Germanic tribes and the Parthian Empire posed existential threats on the frontiers. At the same time, a deadly plague, later named the Antonine Plague, swept through the empire, killing millions and further destabilizing an already fragile society. In the face of these challenges, Marcus did not falter. Guided by his Stoic principles, he approached governance with a rare combination of firmness and compassion. He financed military campaigns from his personal wealth, refused to burden his people with excessive taxes, and tirelessly attended to the needs of the army and citizens alike. This commitment to justice and duty reflected the Stoic idea of dikaiosin, a term that encompasses righteousness and fairness. Marcus saw his role as emperor not as a privilege, but as a moral obligation to serve the greater good, a mindset that elevated his leadership above mere politics. Marcus Aurelius's rule was guided by the very philosophy he cherished. For Marcus, Stoicism was not a theoretical framework, it was a way of life. The four Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, manifested in nearly every decision he made. He believed that life's external events, whether triumphs or tragedies, were beyond one's control. What truly mattered was the individual's response. This ideal of focusing on one's own actions, rather than external outcomes, informed the way he approached leadership amidst the chaos of wars and pandemics. Perhaps the most significant expression of his philosophy comes from his personal writings, compiled into the now famous work Meditations. This collection of private reflections reveals a ruler deeply engaged in self-examination and an unwavering pursuit of virtue. Though these writings were never intended for public consumption, they provide a rare glimpse into the mind of a leader, striving to harmonize power with the inner peace that comes from living according to reason and principle. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In moments of despair, Marcus reminded himself and us of the Stoic view that control over one's own thoughts and actions remains the foundation of personal freedom. While ruling the Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius recorded his thoughts not as proclamations of power, but as dialogues with himself, a way of holding himself accountable to his Stoic ideals. Meditations is in many ways his philosophical journal, a place where he wrestled with life's deepest questions. The text is filled with profound yet simple reminders: to act justly, to embrace mortality, to accept the natural order of the world, and to focus only on what lies within one's control. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth, he wrote, challenging himself and his readers to adopt humility and discernment in their daily lives. What makes Meditations remarkable is its universality. Thousands of years later, its lessons on self-restraint, perseverance through suffering, and leading with virtue still resonate across cultures and generations. Marcus Aurelius's words encourage us to face life's adversities with dignity and reflect on how we can lead with integrity, regardless of our circumstances. After nearly 2 decades of war, plague, and leadership, Marcus Aurelius's health began to decline. His final years were marked by unrelenting challenges. He knew his time was limited, yet his commitment to duty never waned. He continued to lead Rome in its struggle against invading forces until his death in 180 CE, likely from the same plague that had ravaged his empire. One of the most debated aspects of his legacy is his decision to appoint his son Commodus as his successor. While Marcus's reign epitomized the ideals of virtue and discipline, Commodus would later be remembered as a reckless and destructive ruler, casting a shadow over his father's final act as emperor. Yet, Marcus Aurelius's own legacy remains untarnished. His life and writings established him as a model of the philosopher king, a leader who did not simply wield power, but who sought to align it with the highest principles of morality and reason. Why does Marcus Aurelius continue to fascinate us? Perhaps it is because his struggles, though monumental, remain relatable. His reflections on coping with loss, maintaining focus amidst distractions, and striving to lead a good life resonate with anyone striving for balance in an uncertain world. In today's fast-paced, often chaotic environment, Marcus's philosophy serves as a timeless reminder of what matters most: the pursuit of inner peace, the discipline to act with integrity, and the courage to face adversity with grace. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius's life urges us to ask ourselves, are we living in accordance with our principles? Are we seeking to improve ourselves and serve others, even amid life's challenges? His example calls us to a higher standard, not of external success, but of internal excellence. As we ponder the life of Marcus Aurelius, his words linger in our minds. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Through his philosophy, actions, and writings, Marcus Aurelius remains more than just a figure of history. He is a beacon of wisdom, reminding us that even in adversity, we can lead lives of virtue and purpose. Let us carry forward the lessons of this philosopher king, not as distant echoes of the past, but as timely guides for our own journey through life. His life teaches us to seek not power but meaning, not ease but excellence, and above all, to be good, not just in thought, but in action.